Okay, so this is the mock foundation question number 8. So it says students investigate the terminal speed of falling paper cake cases. So we've got the diagram here showing the meter ruler with the cake case at the top there. We've got a clamp and stand sat on a bench with a pointer, and in the background there will be a stopwatch. Okay, so the first question says, what is meant by the terminal speed? Okay, so the terminal speed is the maximum speed that the cake case or cake cases will reach as they fall. You could have mentioned balanced forces as well as the air resistance and the weight of the cases balance each other out. Okay, so that was for 1 mark. Now, the second question says, describe how you would carry out the investigation to find out how the mass of a falling paper cake case affects their terminal speed. Now, because this is a QER question, rather than me write out a lot of stuff, I'm going to go through the official mark scheme just to show you the sorts of things the examiner is looking for. Okay, so we've got here the indicative content, in other words, the sorts of things they're looking for in your account. So for 6 marks, they want you to mention that you set up the apparatus as shown with the pointer 150 centimeters above the floor. Okay, now that distance isn't critical, but as long as you mention the distance. It then says use a balance, electronic balance, to determine the mass of a cake case. Okay, so you could weigh 10 of them and then divide that by 10 to get the mass of 1 cake case, because they're very, very lightweight, and the balances wouldn't necessarily be able to weigh them accurately one at a time. But if you weigh 10 of them, you get a better idea of the mass. Once you've done that, you would drop a single cake case, okay, from 20 centimeters above the pointer. So it has to be above the pointer. And then using a stopwatch, you would record the time it takes to fall from the level with the pointer to the floor. So you don't start the stopwatch as you drop the cake case, you start the stopwatch as it passes the pointer. You would then repeat that step another 4 times for the 1 single cake case and calculate the mean time. And that's to make sure you get some quality results and that you iron out any slight differences in your results by doing it 5 times. But then you repeat steps 4 and 5 with a stack of cake cases. So you do it with 2 cake cases, drop it 5 times, 3 cake cases, drop it 5 times, and so on. Once you've done that, you've collected your results. You then need to use the equation, the speed equals distance divided by time, to calculate the speed. Okay, so the distance will be the 150 centimeters it dropped to the floor, and the time will be the average time of each stack of cake cases. Okay, so you do it 5 times for 1 cake case, work out the average, 5 times for 2 cake cases, work out the average, and so on. So those are the sorts of things that they're looking for. That, if you like, is an ideal answer. Now, when we're marking these questions, we need to take these descriptions into account. We band your answer, we put it into a band. So if you're looking for the 5 to 6 marks, the high end, in the case of the foundation paper, the C plus marks, we need a full description of the method, with at least 5 points mentioned from all areas. Okay, a sustained line of reasoning which is coherent, relevant, substantiated, and logically structured. In other words, that your account makes sense, that you haven't written down random statements that you vaguely remember, and if somebody was to read your account, they would know exactly what you meant, and they would be able to carry out the experiment in the same way that you intended them to. It should use the right scientific terminology and accurate spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So that's all the sorts of things we're looking for a top-end piece of work. 3 to 4, so that's the middle band, okay, which is sort of DC. Okay, we're expecting an outline description of the method with at least 3 points made from the 2 of the areas. So it's good, but it's not that good. Your writing does make sense, but you may have missed out a few bits and pieces, or a couple of statements might not quite fit. And you've mainly used scientific terminology, but maybe you've made some errors. And then 1 to 2 marks, basically you've written something down. Some of it might make sense, some of it might just be random, and there's not really any reference to correct scientific terminology. So that's the 1 to 2 marks.